On Asia Down Under today, keeping bees busy for hard-working beekeepers from Hawke's Bay. The waitress turned cheesemaker who's now winning awards. And 21 years at the stumps, a Sri Lankan cricket club's long innings. Kia ora and welcome to Asia Down Under. Next weekend is not only Easter but also Anzac Day. Our first story for this week starts by commemorating Anzac Day with an unusual and heartwarming story from the National Army Museum in Waiyuru. Here's Stephen Chu with that story.
Anzac Day, April 25th, commemorates members of our armed forces who died serving our country from the First World War onwards. Many of them are buried overseas and their graves are seldom visited. Just 2 years ago, Dolores Ho, an archivist at the National Army Museum, came up with an unusual idea. One that would remember our fallen heroes by placing a piece of New Zealand, a cross made of flax, on their graves.
Because the flax is a native plant in New Zealand, so it is representing placing a piece of New Zealand on their grave. So it's placing a piece of home for them. So it's my personal tribute to them. It's because I know that a lot of the soldiers, when they left New Zealand and they die overseas, until today, there are thousands and thousands of them have not had a visitor. They have nothing from home. So I think that they should get something from New Zealand.
Dolores came here in 1986 for a better life for herself and her 2 children. She's been working for the National Army Museum in Waiyuru for 18 years, beginning as an assistant librarian before becoming its archivist.
By being the archivist, she's responsible for all the archives that are contained within this museum. I'd hate to even be able to put a figure on the amount of material that she has in her collection, but it would be probably in the millions of photographs, diaries, maps, letters, and other types of objects.
2 years ago, at Dolores's request, a researcher in England placed RSA poppies on New Zealand graves over there.
But because it was before Anzac Day, I could not collect enough poppies, so I then started to think of ideas of what else can I do.
She came up with the idea of making crosses with harakeke flax.
I've never made the crosses before, so I just through a lot of trial and error, then I managed to get a cross. So I sent the crosses and the poppies to the researcher in UK, and so after they have placed all the crosses at the 73 graves there, and they asked me could I make the crosses for them every year. But then more people saw the crosses and come to know about the crosses. So I have more and more people in UK asking me if I can make more for them so that they can also go to other Kiwi graves. Then I decided that I will make into a project. So far, I have made about close to 8,000 now. I try to do them every night. So I'll be making about average, I make about 30 to 35 a night. But if there is a demand, then I have to really, work hard and make more. Sometimes I probably will make 50 or 80 a night.
The purchase of RSA poppies and the postage to send the crosses overseas are by donation and also from her own pocket.
The museum can't provide any financial support. The museum is a charitable trust in its own right, and we rely on the goodwill of people to provide funding for this museum to be what it is like. So
I have got tremendous support from people in Britain, France, Belgium, and now we're starting to, with the website now running, I've got volunteers from New Zealand.
Eric Kempfins and Anne Brennan are some of the New Zealand volunteers for the project.
I was honoured to be able to be part of a project and take the crosses across here. It was, it's hard to put it into words how you feel when you go and visit an old soldier's grave. Sometimes you just can't put it into words. It's, you know, it just moves you in different ways. Yeah.
Oh, we brought about 40 or 50 crosses, but we identified 31 actual graves, which we were very happy with.
We place the cross, we take a photograph of the grave as well, so that members of the public can have a photograph of their loved ones, even though they cannot visit.
It's a project that she does not during work hours, but when she finishes work of an evening, she goes home and works on this Dolores project. She's doing a marvellous job.
But I think that the joy is to see that when somebody comes to me and say, do you have a photograph of the grave of my grandfather? And when I say, yes, I do, and when I'm able to give them the photograph and I can see the joy, you know, that, you know, you can really see how happy they are. And that's give me, you know, that then I know that what I'm doing is right, yeah.
Next week is Anzac Day, so buy some poppies and send them to Dolores. This will not only help the RSA, but will also help in commemorating the servicemen and women who were lost overseas.